Well, Jamie, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask you two to do a little intro since I don't know either of you. Tell us about you and your business. You've been doing this for 11 years. You're in Argentina. Tell us the rest of the story, and thank you for joining us.
Okay, very good. Okay, I'm Uri Isken. I am CEO and co-founder of HIT. HIT is a flex space operator currently operating 13 locations with more than 600,000 square foot across Argentina, Chile, and Brazil.
Oh,
And with me, join us as well is Gabi. Gabi, want to introduce you?
Okay. My name is Gabriel. In English, in Spanish is Gabriel. As well as Teluri, we start 11 years ago. We run currently the largest co-working company in Latam. In Argentina, we have now 50% of the market share. We also operate in Chile and Peru. And in this year and next year, we are going to grow fast in that two markets as well. So we are like having fun in this industry because it's very dynamic. And as Uri tell before, Argentina is really booming. All of big tech companies are starting get into this country. For example, TikTok is putting here a huge hub of people. You have a lot of fintechs starting moving here because you know about the policy, the change of the policy in this country, that now we have a Trump friend in
Hmm.
in how think the market. So for the companies, it's very
Yeah, attractive.
it's attractive for companies. So they are all starting getting here, and we operate in a high-end market. We have the best buildings in the best neighborhoods, and our furniture and services are high-end. So for that high growth companies and big tech companies, we are like the perfect operator because they want nice offices in the best building with nice views with a perfect service, and we are that type of operator. We are a AAA operator, and here in Argentina we have only one competitor, that is WeWork, and as all know, WeWork is not in the best moment. So we are like alone in the market. We are now with 94% of occupancy. That is a crazy number of occupancy.
Yeah.
And so we are like growing approx 50% per year. So when you have a big operation, to grow 50% per year is very hard because it's very big growth. But we are doing it, and it's really, for us, it's really, we are passion. We have passion on what we do, and we really have fun in the business because we are like changing the office industry. That is a very old school industry. Okay. And then we can talk about, but we have not only one company, we have four companies inside one big company, that is HIT, but we have also have a HIT Events, that is a social and corporate event companies. Then we have HIT Cafe, that is our food and beverage company. And then we have HIT Wellness, that is our wellness company. And if you take that three companies, HIT Cafe, HIT Events, and HIT Wellness, you have 30% of the revenues coming from that new business. So we are doing like a marketplace of B2B services. And it's amazing because the big clients are demanding us all of these services because we do it with high quality services, and we are doing this very good. So we are growing in all the side business. So
Yeah.
I don't know, Uri,
And
if you want to continue, but that is a resume.
no, and we earned their trust, right? Because I mean, this is not how we started out this business. We started out as an experiment. We started out as being ourselves a business unit inside a small family-owned real estate development firm, you know, and with the idea, okay, let's do something different with this hit brand, with this idea of premium services, location, fit out. And we started catering for, you know, smaller companies, you know, thinking about startups, freelancers, etc., like the typical approach to co-working. And it was, I think it was since we started out 2015, close to an year after, we're already nailing our first huge contract to Accenture, you know,
Oh yeah.
the corporate account with 15 more thousand square feet and 300 people. You know, that was a large account at that time. It was like an incredible hit for us, and that, you know, only increased our capabilities of delivering like customized premium services for those type of customers, clients. And then we just like we just like organically grew the company, you know, since till today. And of course, our environment of birth, you know, our birthplace here in Argentina is a very hard environment for doing business. It's very like uncertain, volatile, and it really needs to be, you know, to be really focused on what are you doing and how are you doing it, and to have a lot of flexibility to, you know, to those turnarounds of the market. You know, when we started out, you could exchange $1 per 40 pesos, and now it's like 1,400 pesos a dollar. And that also made us be very, you know, creative, innovative, and for survivorship, you know. And this is where we are now, and we are like really like found, you know, a sweet spot in the market, like catering for these corporate clients. And we see a huge demand ahead. You know what I mean? What's the most certain thing we can say about office is that it got more complex, you know, to these large accounts. And it's certainly, you know, the honest truth is that there's no company that have right now the exact amount of square feet they need, you know. So we were helping a lot
Yeah.
of companies into that. And I think we all are as an industry, you know, and there's a lot of growth ahead for all of us. Well, right, what do you think about that?
Yeah, and so as you're doing business, I mean, you're doing business with the likes of Google and L'Oreal, and you already mentioned Accenture and big firms like that. So what kind of space are they taking down with you? Are they taking
Mhm.
individual offices? Are they taking larger team offices that have some internal offices? I mean, what are your spaces and your floor plans look like, right? Because like you said, you start off with the smaller entrepreneurs, but now that you're doing the big deals with the big enterprise groups, what do those spaces look like?
Yeah. So of course it changed. It's dynamic, you know. For instance, I mean the latest big account we nailed is a company that it's signing a 5-term year contract with us for almost like 10,000 square feet, you know, for
Wow.
yeah,
In one space.
in one space, yeah, 300 people. The largest account we have,
Wow.
Gabi, is like almost like 500 desks for, I think it's like 30,000 square feet or something or so.
In one space.
Yeah, it's like in two to three floors. It depends how
Okay.
you look at it, but yeah, in one space. And of course, then we have like a lot of atomized accounts, but the average it will be like a 2 to 3 years term and perhaps like 50 desks with perhaps 10K, 20K square feet. Yeah.
How do you manage your risk? Do you line up, do you lease? Do you line up your lease with those larger accounts? Like if you have a
Yeah.
5-year term, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So prior to 2020, of course, our lease were all like fixed rent for longer term, like
Mhm.
15 years, and
15
all
years. Okay.
the capex was on us.
Okay.
And of course, all this growth was organically. So, as long as the company was staying profitable, the capacity of leveraging some debt and that kind of financing that here in Argentina is incredible, incredibly hard
Yeah.
to get, but we did. And of course, afterwards, we got more attention from landlords with vacant offices. For us, it's really important. I mean, the asset, it has to be like a high quality asset. The location, it has to be prime location. And we got like two to three like management agreements since then, where we share the profits, where we invite the landlords to invest in the fit out, and of course some like terms and conditions. I'm sorry. Okay, you're like sharing. Oh,
Yeah, I want it. We post these to YouTube, and I thought anybody who's watching on YouTube needs to see these. Like, look, this building's
yeah,
incredible.
it's incredible. It's
Y-
actually it's a conversion. It was a garage for the horse track of Palermo, Buenos Aires, and no, I mean it's in a spot in Palermo where every citizen like goes by,
Okay.
usually by that building without even looking at it because it was ugly and it was unused. And then the city decided to open up like a public, like I don't know how to say, a licitación. Help me out, Gio, with this word, but it was a bid, like an open bid, and the company who won that bid, hired ODA, the architecture firm from New York. And, the architect did a terrific job. And that's a product of, I think it's 150,000 square foot feet, sorry, and we took like almost a third of it, and we invested a lot of money in like building the future of work for us. That's our vision is, as Gabe told us before, like we are really aiming to transform, the places to make it work, because it was broken, for us and for everybody, like who didn't want to get to the office, and we are like changing that. Actually, yesterday evening we launched our first like salon, for like inside these wellness activities. We launched a place where you can get your haircut, you can get your nails done, you can get like
And so
the
is that
aesthetic
part
you
that's part
need.
of the wellness that's part of your wellness component?
Yeah. And yesterday it was more like a fashion week for us. It was amazing, amazing the feedback and the response of the public. Right, everyone's interested. Oh wow, what things are happening in the office, that's changing what we used to think about the office, and starting to look at it differently. And that's, yeah, Jamie, that's our last opening here in Buenos Aires, Hit Polo, it's the name of that place. And in just like less than 6 months from opening, we're already full.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and
We
as Gabe told you that we not only like cater for offices, meeting spaces to these corporate accounts, we also do their hit events. It's corporate events, end of year party, Christmas
Mm,
party, whatever you
yes.
may call it, and hit cafe with all of the
Yeah.
the, the catering, the lunch breaks, and everything.
Yes. Sorry, I like to double click on what I mentioned about our business unit and Uri is saying as well. What we discover is that corporate clients need service solutions delivered quickly and with high quality. So we start building our own ecosystem of service all within the HIT group. Okay. So to go into more detail, at first we have the core business, okay, that we focus on service large companies by developing their HQs and providing services across multiple countries, but with the big offices. And this is our core business. Then we have, in core business, we have meeting rooms, the Hit and Go, that is like the service of that is like a subscription for B2C companies. Is similar that all of the co-working companies. Second, Hit events. We start by organizing corporate events for our clients, and today we sell corporate events both to our clients and to third parties, to another companies. And in addition, as already told, on weekends, we host social events as weddings, bar mitzvah, birthday, all of that. So we are 24/7 with revenues in our buildings. And third, in Hit Cafe, we start with specialty coffee, with barista services. And today it's a business that sell coffee. Then we sell corporate lunches. That is very big business because this generate significant revenues. Just consider an average lunch ticket. For example, for a 200 people client, and do the mathematics of that, and think about all of our customers. It's very big business to sell the corporate lunches. It's very big. And on top of that, we also provide catering for the events that I told before. And at final, we have Hit Wellness, that we offer wellness-focused services, including running teams, ophthalmologic services, skincare checkups, psychological support. So at final, as a result, we have achieved a much higher EBITDA, a much higher profit than our competitors, while also delivering more value and more services to our client. So this is part of the journey we've been for the past 11 years, with strong ambitions to expand potentially into New York and Miami. We are seriously exploring that path, but I want to double check, because to explain you all the different business units that are like it's very difficult to operate all of these business units.
Oh, 100%. They're like different businesses, but you have the perfect storm, because I think the interesting thing about having such a deep customer base of enterprise who are US based, a lot of US based companies, the corporate real estate folks want their people to have like an equivalent experience, right? So they're like, oh, you can do lunches? Sure, whatever. Take my card. Right. You can do wellness? Take my card. Put it on our tab.
It's like that. It's
right.
Like that.
So if you're willing to do it, you have I think you'd struggle in the US because the infrastructure is already here for all of those things. You don't have the same captive audience, but you didn't ask my opinion on that. Also in Argentina, WeWork is not maybe local enough to do that, right? They're probably never gonna go after that type of service level. So super interesting.
Yeah. So I got a question.
Sorry.
How did the two of you meet?
Sorry, to answer something to Jamie.
Sorry.
For that to happen, you need to build a lot of trust with your client.
Yeah.
Because what you say is true. When the client is have a big trust with you, it's like, take my credit card and give me the services. But something that the bad part with these huge clients is that you can't fail.
Yeah.
You can't fail, because if you fail, it's not more service anymore.
Yeah.
So the SLA, the level of services you have to give is very high. So we are like we have a company very focused on results. We work like with OKRs, and we are like weekly, like seeing all the NPS, the service with the clients. We are like very focused on that the deliver of the service is perfect. So is that works, then you have it. It's like that.
Yeah, yeah, and of course a strong team to reach that. And
Yeah.
how did we meet? Okay, interesting story. I mean, we're like in this, as I told you before, right? A business unit open up our first venue. I was like there alone at first, and of course I needed someone to get into the front desk, to welcome our visitors, to help them with the service. And I posted this job opening of, I called it a community associate or something like that, and office manager. Sorry, I used that specific words, and I posted in some like prestigious colleges here, and he got the attention of Gabi. He was our first employee who become like I realized like early enough that his skill wasn't there. It was in the sales, commercial, marketing, and expansion. And soon he became partner, and we like since day one starting working this out and like getting where we got. It was a really interesting like connection.
That's awesome.
Mm.
So how
Yes,
long?
I was 19 years old
I was about to ask.
in
Okay.
that moment. Now I am 31.
And I'm 43.
I'm getting older.
Mm.
I'm getting older. So that's 31.
I'm
That's
joking. I'm
amazing.
joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
So is this the only job you've ever had, Gabi? Like
Yes.
adult job? I don't know what else to
Yes.
say.
I also do like another investment things because I
All
am
right.
like my life is my head is all time thinking. I can't put a stop in my head. That's a problem that I have with my wife because he say I'm don't relax, but I say to her that for me it's fun to live in that way. But yes, I am like 24/7 thinking in how to do business with heat with my position. But
Yeah.
if you understand me, you will share with me this because when your head is like that, is you are all the time thinking in that. It's your hobby. It's not a work for me. I when I come to hit, for me it's not. I am not working really. Eh?
Yeah.
For me, I am in a game. I am playing.
That's a
So
gift.
since you're
It's a
good.
gift.
Hmm.
I
She
said
said it's a gift.
it's a gift
It's a gift.
to have
Like
found that, right? It's yeah. And so random. So that's a really great
Yeah,
story.
yeah. It's
yeah,
random. It's true.
yeah.
So kids, you're 31, so you're really old. Do you have any children yet?
Me,
Yes.
not for now, but we are looking for. We're looking for.
Okay. And Udi, do you have? I
Yes,
mean,
I
Gabby's almost like your oldest son.
yeah, we have many like facets in our relationship. That's an interesting one. I don't see him like that, but yeah, I'm like this past weekend I went with my wife. We had this celebration of 24 years together. We started dating at college, and 10 years later than that we got married and had three beautiful children. Joaco is 13, Anna 11, almost turning 12, and Martina is 8. They're all Argentinians. I am Brazilian, actually. I was born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Okay.
And like my family came to Argentina when I was like 10 years old.
And is your wife from Argentina?
Yeah, she's fair. Yeah, we live here in Buenos Aires.
So who do you cheer for during the World Cup and big soccer events? Who, Brazil or Argentina?
I still go for Brazil. It's a good question, and I think I like realized, like I think it was since last World Cup, included that I can be both happy and sad.
Yeah.
If Brazilian go for against Argentina, and it doesn't matter who wins and who loses, I can get like happy and sad at the same time. Because of course my family and my acquaintances. Hmm.
Well, you guys will not be surprised to hear, but Jamie was a huge soccer star.
Really?
He's-
Oh, you're on mute. Sorry.
She's
Really? Wow, nice.
yes, she still plays, and she coaches, and she does a bunch of stuff for
I
the
run
community.
our local
Right.
rec league. I
So
did get to see a match at the stadium in Rio
I
Oh,
have
nice.
an
many
important
years
question.
ago, but I remember I was like, wow, compared to
Yeah,
US soccer at the
soccer.
time, it was mind-blowing. It was so much fun.
I have
Oh, that's
an
awesome.
important
That's
question
awesome.
for Jamie. What do you
Yeah.
prefer, Boca or River?
Oh, she doesn't know.
But
Boca or
we're
River are the big football teams of soccer teams of our country. Only for you to
you have
know,
to
for
pick one.
example, Boca won the world champion to Real Madrid, so it's very good team.
Okay, we'll go with Boca then. I know I don't want
Yes.
I watch US soccer, but not a lot of or football, I should say. Not a lot of international
If you
football.
came to Buenos Aires, I can go with you to the Boca Stadium.
Gio is actually a bigger soccer player than I am. Maybe
No,
not
So
since
we
the
can
knee.
go. We all can go with
Well, I'll
we
Uri.
can
come. I
all
know that
go
would be really fun.
make a party of it. So
Totally.
And
yeah, it's
yeah,
funny.
Immersive Argentina.
It,
yes, and
Yeah, totally.
it's a large experience because it's not only go to the stadium. When you go to see a Boca match, when you start walking on the neighborhood, you start seeing all the walls with blue and yellow and the people singing with
Yeah,
it's
the
amazing.
chance. Yeah.
It's really
and,
amazing, really.
Yeah.
It's
and then
amazing.
you get to the gates, and then they ask you what team you're going for, and they put a big fence in between you with police officers, and it's incredible, right? I've experienced that in
It's
England.
amazing, really. Eh? It's really amazing.
I was blessed to be in Brazil for the World Cup, and got to see a
Oh,
handful of matches there, and it was amazing. The problem here in the US, so I've looked, I don't know, Jamie, if you've looked at ticket prices, it's not that bad there in California, but here in Dallas, you can't get a ticket for less than like $1,300.
yeah.
And I'm just like,
Oh,
this is insane, right? I mean, Texas Stadium holds, or Cowboy Stadium, whatever, holds 90, I think it'll hold 95,000 people for the event. And I'm like, how are you going to sell 95,000
They've taken a
tickets?
lot of flack. I mean, a lot of the matches are not sold yet because of that, because it's so expensive. It's such a bummer. They're making it really inaccessible.
yeah, with Gabby we decided like to launch this marketing and sales campaign, and actually I just heard you're in Dallas, Gio. We
Yeah,
are heading there. We're heading there next month with our like largest client account, largest broker that landed the biggest deal for us, and we are
yeah.
like, going with them for Argentinian match next next month there. We got early tickets, so we could like find more accessible prices, and we
Yeah.
made this like a nice adventure, for the company. And of course, it's an incredible price, for them, and it made really sense for us.
Well, please let me know when you're coming, and I'll make sure to. I travel a lot, but let me know, and I'll make arrangements to be in town. I'd love to see you guys here
I
in person.
think I think we are going
20th of June.
20 for 24 of June.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm.
perfect. Well, I'll plan to be here, and then we definitely need to get you here for GWA. I mean, you'll love it in September. It's beautiful in Colorado. It's
This year, this year,
yep, this year in September. I'll send you information, and it's
Okay, cool.
if you come for a day, a few days extra, you can go up into the mountains, and it's absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Nice.
So you
Okay.
can enjoy
okay.
that without a
Thank
doubt.
you. Thank you
Well,
for the
let
invitation.
Let's do it.
Of course, I'll send you information. And as far as let's talk about your meetings and events business, right? I mean, I just here in the US, we're seeing more and more of that, more demand for spaces that aren't just for conference facilities, right? They're not just board meetings, but people that are doing social events and ways to build culture within the company. And
Mhm.
so it's really interesting how that's grown. So what size are your spaces? I mean, are they big salons for big meetings? Is it, what size do these look like?
Gabby, wanna go?
I don't hear well the question. Can you repeat, please?
So the question is, what size are the corporate events that you're having, like the event spaces that you've got? I mean, there's a good example. I mean, the
Okay. We have,
Jamie's got up on the screen. Like, how big is the biggest? Oh, look, you got a
yeah,
bunch of them right there.
okay. We have
Mm.
different type of events, but we have corporate events that could be, for example, end of year parties,
Yeah,
could be product presentations. Then you have the town halls or the all hands that are like
yeah,
the
yeah,
you know. Then you have typical auditorium presentations. Then you have after office a lot in our rooftops,
yeah.
like more social events. So we have a lot of different type of events. That's the really here. But to be honest, for now, the 80% of our revenue in events are corporate events,
Yeah,
and 20% are social events, because we are a corporate firm. We are not a social firm.
Yeah.
So for us, it's easier to sell corporate events to all of our clients because there are companies. The social events, the final client is a person, is a human that
right.
the he want for his daughter or for himself, or is like a person. So it's different. So if we think that we are a corporate company and the 90% of our clients are big companies, it's obviously that we have a lot more revenue in corporate events, but we are growing in social events because we have very nice venues, very nice venues in good locations with a lot of parking slots, with very big rooftops, with big views. So the venues are like the big driver for the decision maker to go on with the event. So we slowly are starting growing in the social events that are in weekends. That for us the profit is very good because the office in the world don't open the weekend. The office
Yeah,
open from Monday to Friday. So if we like broke the matrix with that and can explode a lot the social events, the profit will start growing. So we are starting. If you see our percentage of revenue, for example, last year is like 10%. Now it's 20. And if you see social events in 2024, it's 5%. So we are growing in that line. We are growing.
Mm.
yeah,
But or if I have to be honest, our focus is on the corporate events. That is a very big and very nice business because we run the corporate events in the same square meters that we run the offices,
Yeah.
because we run the corporate events in the common areas. Because something that is different in the heat model is that we have big buildings with big square feet. So our common areas are very big. They also have rooftop. They also have like different types of venues that we put a flexible furniture that in the day works well with the office, and then we can like take that furniture, put it in a storage, and we like made really a event venue. So it's very nice because we like can rent that space in the afternoon, in the night. And if you think that the biggest cost of operate this is the rent with the landlord, and if you think that the rent with the landlord is paying by the core business, then the event only have variable cost, not fixed cost, because the principal fixed cost is paying by the core business. So it is very nice when you see the heat event and the heat cafe like this, because they have huge profit and helps to have a whole profit of the business. Really nice.
Yeah, and Gio, in terms of sizes, I mean, our locations, if you count the whole space, it's on average like 40 to 50,000 square feet, per space. And in terms of spaces dedicated for auditoriums, when we can handle it, like we usually go for an 200 people auditorium. And in terms of like common areas or rooftops, perhaps you'll be getting like 10K square feet of common areas that, of course, it's catering to this work cafe, and when there's not an event, it's also a place where co-working can happen, like meetings, lunches and cafes, wherever. And then when we host an event, like you get to use that space and perhaps the rooftop, the auditorium, and there's like a mixed proposition, that makes a better deal for these corporate customers and for these events accounts. There's a very interesting for us as well is the opportunities of cross-selling and upselling here, because there's a lot of office accounts that knew us from the events we cater and we sell, and otherwise as well, office accounts that didn't know about this event solution and started like asking for it. And so I think there's a lot of synergies like working for us here and getting this like profitability that Gabby is telling you.
So do
Mhm.
you see yourself, you said you were growing. So Argentina, obviously, you have a huge footprint, and you said you see yourself growing pretty significantly in Chile and Brazil. And
Yeah.
so you've got 13 locations now. Like, what do you want to be? Do you want to grow throughout Central America as well, or just stick to South America? What do you?
I mean, we because of our strong focus on these corporate accounts and these, strategically organic growth, of course, will be like more strong focus on the main markets, of the region. As Jamie said before, right? These corporate accounts, they think like regionally, right? The same head office that works for here in South America. It's the same people making the decision for, workplace or real estate activities for the whole region. And when you earn their trust and you deliver a good service, of course, they will like try to get you, everywhere. And that's what happened to us. And of course, we love that's happening. And yeah, main markets, of course, like São Paulo, Ciudad de Mexico, Bogota, we're already dealing with Argentina, Chile, Peru. We see a lot more potential for us, like getting to other cities from Argentina, the perhaps smaller cities, but that as well. And of course, getting much more stronger, like in the whole region. And of course, every time we hit the US for some reason, like we see, hey, there's also room and space for us here, and of course we still consider that opportunity. I mean, not like as our larger focus, but I think it would make sense like to think of, we call it America, the whole continent, as a whole, and being the US like a perfect hub, for leveraging business across the whole region, and being like a place where, business can grow, can stay more productive, can like have their complete lifespan with us. That's what are the most successful stories we have. The largest account I told you before started with 40 people with like 1,000 square feet, and they
Wow.
started growing a lot. And that's the stories we like to share.
So where is the favorite place you've ever visited, like you've traveled to, anywhere in the world?
Our favorite place, my
Yeah,
favorite
your
place,
favorite place.
like in real estate, co-working matter,
Para lo
or
que sea, whatever.
para lo que sea, a mí me gusta mucho Madrid.
Okay. And you've spent a lot of time there with the family and
I lived in Madrid for a year. Of course, I have like my from my infancy, like the bond with Rio de Janeiro. But
oh
yeah,
yeah.
I got to live in Madrid for a year, and I felt really good. Like there's a very good quality of life there. People, enjoy like hanging out, like with each other, and everything like works, in terms of some public services, public goods, that's yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Of course, there's no beach, I was born in a city of a beach, but yeah, I mean, you usually can get, everything from one city. I think I like to think the global world is at our foot, and we just like have to share it and live together with that.
Yeah. What about you, Gabby? Does he let you vacation? Does he give you vacation time? Have you earned it yet after 11 years?
No
Eh,
way.
I like Madrid also, as Uri say, because Madrid is very similar to Buenos Aires. The people, the city, the environment. It's like you feel like in Buenos Aires. It's not the same, but you feel like Buenos Aires. And then I am like starting getting in love with New York because it's a very energy side city. Every time I go, I return with like connect with into 20 volts. I like you you drink some Red Bulls there. I don't know how to explain, but like the environment there is like you I don't know how to say it, but you understand me. It's like
Hmm.
Yeah.
Energizing. Yeah, yeah.
you in New York, I stay there, and the people walk faster. Like
Yeah.
all
Like
all
your brain. The people there move like
yeah,
your brain.
all people is running. It's like you smell energy there. You smell business. I like it very much. So I have two favorites: New York and Madrid.
Wow, that's great.
What about
Jamie,
you?
you got do what?
What about you?
I'll tell you. So I went to Australia last year and I loved Australia. I really enjoyed being in Australia. I love the culture. And from a business standpoint, it was fun to just interact and engage with them. But I always love going back. I mean, I have never actually lived there, but I still love going back to Mexico, like going to Mexico City this weekend, taking my mom and my whole family for her birthday. It's her 74th birthday to Thursday. So
Congratulations.
her whole side of the family's still there. So always exciting to go back and be there. But I mean, for me, I don't get a much time off, so the beach is a good place for me to kind of disconnect. And so there's a lot of great beaches in Central America. So I get away every once in a while when Jamie
That's
lets
true.
me do a podcast.
Very
And
good.
then Jamie, what's yours? We're doing the go around.
I know. I don't know if I have a favorite, but we're booking a trip to Barcelona and San Sebastian on the Spain theme. So
Oh,
my husband and I have been to both, but my daughter's 14 and we're taking her, so I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
very
So
good.
her daughter is our editor for the podcast. So everything we say are very careful with her daughter in mind.
Oh, she must be a genius then. That's very good.
She's pretty smart.
Okay, nice. Very good.
Well, it's been really great having you guys on. I'll send y'all information for GWA in September. It would be awesome to have you guys there in September and then Miami as well, right? It's always fun for you guys to pop up to Miami and see some of the cool stuff there. But we're starting to put together content, and I would like to have one or two international panels this year at the conference in September. So definitely you guys would be great to speak on one of those. Maybe we'd stick you up there. Maybe we do a Latin America panel with Javier and some of the others. And so
Yes.
thank you so much.
Yeah. For me, if I can say you what I think about LATAM operators,
Yeah,
you have Hit here, us. Then you have Javier from EOS. And then
yeah.
you have another one that is very good operator that is called Comunal. The
Comunal.
name
From
Comunal,
Peru.
Ernesto de
Yeah.
Olazábal, he have a very good product.
Yeah, Ernesto's in Peru too, right? Is it
In
Yeah,
Peru
Peru.
or
yeah.
Peru and
He,
Mexico?
He's
he's the
market leader
largest
in Peru. Mm.
he's the largest operator in Peru.
Mm.
He has very nice venues. He have a very good develop of technologic. I think
Yeah.
the best in Latam. He invest a lot of money in developers, and he developed a very good app. And I think in that line, he's the sorry the best in that line in technology.
Yeah.
He's the best of Latam. So I will think in Ernesto too if you want to make like a high level Latam operators. I will
Yeah,
take.
you just did it. You did all the work for me.
And you
Javier's
know,
easy, and I know Ernesto, so I can reach out to both of them.
yeah, and the guys from Uruguay, Sinergia, did very good as well.
They are good
Just
as well.
haven't
Yes.
mentioned after GCUC, we landed in Buenos Aires and we hosted the largest co-working event in Latin America. It was hosted like a couple of weeks ago in Hit Polo in that venue that Jamie
Yeah.
spotted in our website. We actually asked Mark Navarro. I'm pretty sure you must know him. He's the one organizing like since 20 years ago with Manu Sea, the co-working Spain conference in Spain.
Yep.
And we told them, hey, we must have one in Latam, for Latin American market. And we started this year with the first edition. It was, I believe it was like a huge hit. Every like major operator came, IWG and many others from the whole region. And it was like great, everything, like the speakers, the content, the networking, and of course the venue. And we will definitely have like more editions, and of course we are like pretty familiar with the region, and that's why Gabe is always like recommending that for you to take
Yeah.
that into account. And of course we hope like next year, wherever it is, like you can also come, Gio and
Yeah,
Jamie.
let's definitely discuss it, and we can even partner and do it. We've done that, and we did Mexico City last year, and we had it at one of Javier's spaces. The problem for us is the peso and the exchange, right? I mean, we really it's hard for us to when we start talking to, it was funny, we started talking to sponsors about it, and I was giving them dollars, and they're like, is that in pesos? And I'm like, no, they're no son pesos. And so it was even funny, like the ticket price, we were given the ticket price in dollars, and they're like, so that's pesos. I'm like, no, it's not $6.25. And so we had some issues with that, but would love to find a way to partner up, and we could definitely market it together. And so yeah, let's talk about that some more. But really appreciate you guys joining us, and super excited that you guys came to Juicy and are interested in coming to GWA. And just, the more people that we can get with different experiences and mindsets and everything else, the more it helps. And so really, really appreciate you guys.
Thank you. For us,
Yeah, we do too.
it's very valuable to start having conversations and
Yeah.
getting to know the US market. In LATAM, we are doing a lot for the industry, and we believe it will be very beneficial to learn from everything that's been done in the United States. So for us, again, it's amazing to be here talking with you, learning for another companies, people in different areas, different countries. So we are happy to be here with you.
Well, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thank
Hablamos
you.
pronto.
Thank you, Jamie. Gio, nice meeting you.
You
Great to
are
Gracias.
very
meet
good with the
you.
Spanish here, eh? You speak
Es
very
mi
well.
primer idioma.
Claro, ahí está, con razón.
Nací en la
Gracias.
Ciudad de México.
Muy bien, Gio.
Eso.
Se nota que hablas bien español.
Pues gracias. Hablamos pronto. Un abrazo.
Gracias.
Abrazo. Chao,
Bye.
chao.